TikTok launches a new monetization program for creators called Live Subscription. Facebook Messenger platform gets a new premium feature called Recurring Notifications that lets you send automated messages to people who opt in. Twitter launches a new resource center called Twitter Create to help creators learn how to succeed on their platform. All this and much more coming up in this week's edition of the Connected Church News with me, Natchi Lazarus. Welcome. This is the show that brings you the top 5 digital, social, and Web3 news that you need to know for this week in just 5 minutes. Let's get started. Facebook messaging platform gets a new feature called recurring notifications, which could be important if you are a church or a ministry that is using Messenger as a key platform to connect with your audience, either through ads or through small groups or one-on-one. Because if you are using Messenger, you know that there are restrictions right now in terms of how often you can get back to the people messaging you. For example, you remember the 24-hour window. So what is happening is, as a company, Meta seems to be shifting that approach and lifting certain restrictions, because the announcement says you can now send proactive automated messaging to people who have opted in and drive re-engagement and keep the conversations going. So I will link to this article in the show notes. It has multiple details of how you can go about doing this, how you can use this for your ministry and so on. Please pass this on to your social media team or your messaging team. Do you find the information we share in this 5-minute news video useful? Then I'm going to ask you to help us reach more church and ministry leaders like you by clicking the like button. Believe it or not, it's helpful. Thank you so much. If you've not yet subscribed or clicked the bell notification, then you might want to consider doing that so that you don't miss any news episode that we release every week. Thank you. Now let's get back to our news item. We have been hearing recently about how TikTok is taking multiple efforts to lure more creators onto its platform. And this announcement last week is a part of that process, where they have announced a new program called Live Subscriptions. This is a monetization program that helps creators monetize their live stream on TikTok. So this will include subscriber badges, it will include custom emotes, and also subscriber only chat. As of now, this feature is going to be invite only, but they are saying they will eventually roll out to a wider audience. So TikTok wants to compete with YouTube when it comes to monetization. They have been going all out, adding new features to their monetization programs. Meta has announced that they are adding additional information to their ad library listing, which could be helpful for you as a non-profit or a ministry, because this includes additional information related to social, political, and electoral ads. And I know that many non-profits that are listening to me actually focus on social issues in your advertising. So this information that is shared by Meta in their ad library could be useful for you. Ad library is a resource where Meta shares information about how people run ads, how people target ads, and so on. So it's like a research center where you can go look at various ads and how people have targeted, especially in the social issues area. So that way, when you're trying to help people, when you're trying to minister to people, you can create better ads by understanding what others are doing. So I will link to both the ad library and this news item. Please pass it on to your advertising strategy team. Twitter has announced a new resource center called Twitter Create. It used to be called Twitter Media, but now it is rebranded and redesigned. And this is a resource center that helps you learn how to use Twitter to grow your ministry or your organization. I really like the way this resource center is structured, because it talks about the type of organization that you are. For example, you can it has separate sections for creators, separate section for say sports people, separate section for film and TV. And they also have a separate section for non-profits. So if you go into the non-profit section, it talks about how various people in the non-profit segment are using Twitter and what are the tools available. For example, Twitter Space, how do you use it as a nonprofit, Twitter Analytics, and so on. So quite a useful resource for nonprofits and ministries. Please have a look. WhatsApp made a couple of big announcements last week related to ministries and organizations. First is about opening up its cloud-based API to all organizations and businesses. This is using the Meta infrastructure, so it brings down the amount of time it takes for you to integrate WhatsApp API with your communication infrastructure. So please pass this information on to your communication communication team if they have been looking for ways to integrate WhatsApp API into your systems. The second announcement is about improving the WhatsApp business features. Couple of interesting announcements there are, first is they say they will give the ability to manage chats across up to 10 devices. So as a WhatsApp business, you can now manage up to 10 devices very soon. And they also say that they will provide a new customizable WhatsApp click to chat link that can help you interact with your audience on WhatsApp. So pretty important announcements related to churches and ministries using WhatsApp. Those were the top 5 news items I had for you this week. Thank you for joining me. Really appreciate it. I'll see you next week with another set of news items. Until then, you stay connected, stay blessed, and take care. God bless you. Bye-bye.